that going to be on the tape? Here we are at Restaurant Passerelle in Radnor, celebrating Sarge, Audrey Knowles' 80th birthday. We have all her good friends and family here, and lots of good food, and I hope we have a good time. You gotta get out there and get a drink. Here's up. Happy birthday, Sarge!
Oh, God! No, man, we don't want anything to do with you. It started already. Well, Judy, I have 9 grandchildren, and I have 8
Sir, would you can have red wine?
You need somebody who will actually talk to that camera. Most people just kind of go, oh, turn that off. Don't film me.
Remember to ask John about the color.
Maybe in the right.
And this pretty young girl said, "Are you Mr. So-and-so?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, I'm here for your birthday to offer you super sex." He said, "That's fine, I'll take the soup."
She warned me that she would ask me to speak about my mother, and actually didn't ask me to speak. She insisted that I speak about my mother, and anyone who knows me realizes that I'm really not the type of person to stand in front of an audience and reveal myself very easily. But it actually is, it's a very easy thing to do once you've known someone for 46 years. A lot of things come to mind. What's the primary thought that you have that you'd like to tell people about your mother? And what immediately came to mind is a middle-aged man with an octogenarian mother. Inheritance. But it's not the inheritance that you may think of, not a financial inheritance. It's what you receive from someone who has passed down something they've given to you over the years. And Dr. Templeton, who's not here tonight, he has many surgical residents that inherited tremendous surgical abilities from his teachings. And what have I inherited from my mother? There's a lot of genetics involved. I've inherited some of that coal miner's daughter personality. I thought quite a lot about this because I was very concerned about what I would say. And the primary thing that comes to mind is that I've gained a self-confidence from the ability to work hard to gain things for myself. My mother is the hardest worker that I've ever known. And she was not given anything. She, as I said, is a coal miner's daughter. There was nothing ever given to her. And what I learned is the amount of pride and self-esteem and confidence that is gained by working for something on your own. I mean, compared to her, I had it made. I was given an education. I was handed an education on a silver platter. But there are many things in life. I mean, I do not consider myself a spoiled person, thanks to her. I think she made me aware that I had to work for things, which I did, and I'm very proud of. It gave me a lot of self-confidence. Things that come to mind are forcing me to learn how to play the saxophone. That's why I was one of the shyest kids you can possibly imagine, an ultimate introvert. And June Fagan can, I'm sure, recall hiding behind my mother's skirt when I was forced to go to her daughter's birthday party just up the street, people that I played with all the time. I was a very shy, introverted person. And the way I came out of that to become socially acceptable was by learning some self-esteem, and learning to play the saxophone is something that came to mind. I mean, she forced me to learn to play that thing. And once I did, it gave me such pride that this is something I had worked on my own and had achieved. It's nothing someone could possibly give me and hand to me. And I learned a lot from that, and I'm very proud of it. And that went on throughout my life, and it's a personality trait that I have to attribute to her, and it's something I'm very proud of, and I'm proud that she's given it to me.
I'd like to toast Sarge tonight because she's always been there for us. One of the earliest times was when Karen was born on September 3rd, 29 years ago. Patty invited Sarge to come down to help us out as soon as she got out of the hospital. After that, we invited my mother, and when she left, we thought we had things pretty well in hand. But within 2 days, the call went out to Sarge to come down, back down to Bethesda to bail us out. And the calls continued. Whenever Patty and I would plan a weekend or a week-long getaway without the kids, you know who got the call to come down to Washington to look after Karen, Julie, Leslie, and our dog JC. And at Christmas, Sarge provided the wherewithal to buy the Christmas presents. We'd buy the presents, we'd wrap them, and we'd try to load them into the station wagon along with our dog JC, without the kids knowing what was going on. Well, I guess they figured out pretty quickly what was going on, but knew enough not to say anything. And some of those gifts were cute. We had trampolines, walk-in doll houses, and a lot of other gifts from Santa Claus that had to be assembled on Christmas Eve. Sarge and I never had the traditional mother-in-law, son-in-law relationship. I always thought it was a lot better than that. But even our relationship was strengthened when Patty was sick and stopped treatment. Sarge came down without a moment's hesitation, and as all of you know, she spent 4 months with us. She had the day shift, and I had the night shift. And I think we made a pretty good team. But I'm still trying to use up the supersized dishwasher liquid from the freezer that Sarge must have gotten a great price on. So Happy birthday, Sarge, to the world's best mother-in-law.
From the grandchildren's perspective. Sarge has always been the cool grandmother I could brag about to my friends. She wears leather pants, she climbs up on the roof to fix her gutters, and she manages a thrift shop. But beyond the cool image, she's a lot more to me than that. She's a friend, an advisor, and a role model. When I was younger, I used to go visit her in the summers for a week by myself, and I always looked forward to working in the Pennywise shop with her and visiting Philly with her. And I especially look forward to her cooking, her split pea soup, her homemade cookies, her homemade ice cream, pot roast, you name it. Best food around. And because she's such a fantastic cook, I think all of us turn to her for advice in the kitchen. I think every single one of us probably called her out saying, "How do you cook this?" Sarge is also the matriarch of our family. She's hosted, cooked, and organized our Christmases and Thanksgiving throughout the years. And without her, probably our family wouldn't be as close. She's also the one who tells our family history, something that means a lot to all of us. Lastly, she's a fantastic role model. I hope as I grow older, I will be as independent, as caring, as healthy, as sharp, and as wise as you are, Sarge. Thank you.
Partner and a Pennywise sorter. She also makes good pecan pies. Introduce that as a good cook.
Scrapbook, which I think Sarge knew we were making, but it's a collection of letters and pictures and a lot of memories and stories that a lot of her friends have sent in, and it turned out pretty good, actually. I just wanted to say a little bit about it. Ever since I was a baby, I knew who Sarge was, but after doing this scrapbook, I learned a lot about Audrey Knowles through the stories and what her friends had to say about her. I must say I'm very impressed. She really has a lot of great friends. There's some hilarious stories, and I learned a lot about her that I never really knew before. I always knew that Sarge was a wonderful grandmother, but I didn't realize what a wonderful friend she must have been to all of you. And anyway, happy birthday. Any of the other grandchildren
I think maybe I have something to say. I'm the eldest grandson, and I think everybody, maybe not everybody knows, but Karen, our last speaker, is going to soon make Sarge a great grandmother.
Great Sarge. Great Sarge. Great Sarge.
Yeah, great Sarge. Pretty honorable.
I'm getting ready for more calls.
The one thing I think maybe that I've learned through my life from Sarge is to be critical. and stay out of the kitchen when she's working. So that's my motto now, is to just stay out of the way when I'm cooking. Many years we've gone through, and I've always looked up to her as a guiding light. And I just have to speak for all the grandchildren, I think, and say how much we all love you, and thank you for helping us and giving everything you have over the years and being so generous. And thank you for that.
Okay, now there's one thing that we still need, every birthday party needs. And I would like everyone to join together and sing, once again, Happy Birthday to Audrey. Ready? All right. Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Audrey.
that's too many. But there isn't a person in this room that doesn't mean something to me. I mean that. And
Blow for
Use your hot air over here.
all right. Oh wow. But thank you all. I mean it. These are really my friends, and I feel it's just too much to try and to respond to all of this. But there isn't a person in this room that doesn't mean something to me. And I thank you all for coming. I really truly mean that. Thank you again. This is Grandma Lewis.
Yeah.
And her sisters, and well, the one is Edna Fritz's daughter. These are, don't they look a lot alike, these two?
Yeah.
My grandmother and this is Emma Fritz. They're all sisters. And that's Aunt Emma and Aunt Ella there. There's Uncle Art's house on Granddad. They're gonna sell it. They're gonna sell it on the 3rd of May. They're having a here's Merle and Uncle Art.
Wow, he's 102.
Yeah, at that time that he died, he was about almost 106. And this is Grandma Lewis and Grandpa Lewis. So we'll
So what would be related to this is the, what's the name, Next?
connect. We always say connect.
Connect.
Yeah,
Connect family history.
Yeah. I have some
Aunt Ella
things
and Uncle Art and Grandma Lewis are on here. So how we're related to the Connects, we have to find out. It's one of the objectives of the day. But look, here's Uncle Art, he's 102. I know, it's pretty funny.
I didn't know.
We're on our way. Okay.
That's my
family.
grandmother
Where?
and her mother and father. And this is my grandmother.
Grandma Lewis?
Mm-hmm. And these are all her brothers and sisters.
And what's her name? She's
Lily Louisa Klinger.
because she married a Klinger. Or this is a Klinger. He was a Klinger? That's what
Yeah,
her name is Klinger?
their name is Klinger before it was, then she married Lewis.
Lewis.
But there they are, the whole,
And
and,
Grandma Lewis.
and Aunt Alice. Gee, can't remember Aunt Sil. Which one? Her name was Priscilla. Where was her name?
Bessie May.
Bessie May died.
This is the beginning of the Family Heritage Weekend.
Yeah.
This is kind of like a book.
Tell them where we are.
We're at Icy Steiner in Lebanon, Pennsylvania.
Looking for some Lebanon bologna. You don't have it. What a difference.
Hey, look at that. Look at all those jugs.
Why are all those jugs on there?
What's the purpose of that? Sarge?
I haven't any idea.
I don't think there's anything worth filming yet. I don't either. We can put up this way and
They
start
all
that if you
have
want.
those satellite dishes.
Here, Joel, you can look also. Oh, but it's not, you're not recording? No.
Remember this
It
old
says
face
recording.
cam? This used to
Yeah.
Kara, don't let her fall. I don't want to get that on film. This is the beautiful view
of the high rocks.
What is High Rocks?
They're big, big rocks, and they run all along the top
Notice
of the
that
mountain.
box spring, that tire there looks to be almost good.
Yeah, let's go down and get it. See, there's, they call that Petersburg. But this is the disadvantage of it. See, it's down in this valley, and there's nothing on that mountain, and there's nothing on these mountains, and the only transportation is straight through, and there's nothing, you know, the biggest town at that end is Pottsville, and down at this end is Harrisburg. There's nothing in between. This was a covered bridge.
To make a gig.
Yeah, we made a gig, but it's a plank with 4 wheels on it.
Ah.
We're in Tower City now.
Now you're in Tower City, that's right. We'll go up it. This is where Uncle Art's daughter used to live until her husband died. Then when her husband died, she moved home with them. And this, that's where Herb's store was. Schropes lived there. And houses lived there. Jeez. Oh, look at that place. Geez, wait, you're turning left. And this is where Lemke's lived. Boy, look at what they're doing there. Wow. That was Mr. Shell, who was the chief Burgess, lived there.
The Burgess?
He was called Chief Burgess.
Master
yeah.
Burgess?
Yeah, and
Wow,
that's
that's a
where
great
the
one.
Groves lived. And that's where Ray Hand lived, and I used to sell peanuts for him.
Man.
And Kate Donnelly, and Aunt Sil,
Stained glass windows.
And-
Always fascinating.
and Uncle Nelts, and the Byers lived there.
Uncle Nels, the blacksmith?
Yeah, and Chumpers lived there, and there's our place, my mother's house right there.
Where? Which one?
The one that says
222. That's it. Back there.
Yeah, and that's where we're gonna go to the Dychocks, to this place right
I'm not going to see anything.
Turn left in here, and I'll go find out what we're supposed to do.
We can film it
Turn
outside the
left
car. It's a much better idea.
Registered Holstein.
Merle next connects
Bring in that.
cottage. Where we're staying. Across from my Dychocks farm.
here. This just the way it was when Merle was here. Except the dining room table was always loaded with old pictures every time, and it was that way for years.
Where's the dining room table? Yep, there's Pam. Yeah, it's a good thing.
This is the carrot can.
Alright. I gotta
Not
run.
very much light. How can you take
I don't
pictures?
know.
Shut the door. It's cold.
Alright. Merle connect.
This is the old connect. Where am I gonna put the
The
keys?
old connect
There, that's
place.
the key to the house. Cottage.
This is exactly how it was?
The red light's on.
It's not recording. Oh, it is.
Here we go. Off on our family roots tour here. Just starting.
Maybe I better drive because I know where I'm going.
That's never stopped me before.
Yeah, but I know where I'm gonna stay.
Sarge, do you have the key?
This is Aunt Rhoda and Uncle Art. Wait, does she?
Sarge!
Anybody have the key? Yeah, I have. Not trying.
Which house? This house?
This is.
Oh, shoot.
This was our house.
Rooster at this house.
Sarge was attacked by a rooster at this house.
Wait, show yours has a scar. Where's your scar?
Right here on right
Let's see.
Show the camera.
Right there on
There it is, a rooster scar.
rooster scar.
Now you can be attacked by little dogs.
Dog.
Which one?
That's 222, straight ahead.
It didn't look like this.
Another ridiculous.
Yeah, well, no, yeah. Oh, where did I get my?
Take a picture. Do you want to take a still picture? Should I just
Sure.
stand next to him?
What?
How many were in Sarge's family?
Hey, where's that? Oh, where the barn is.
No. The milk bar.
Where's the milk barn?
Then
Right outside
that's Halloween's time.
Oh. I didn't know.
I'm glad I heard you.
Yeah, I am too. I didn't get to see it. This worked all during the Depression, always.
What kind of factory?
And it makes shirts.
Here, it's still
Do a fold there to make that. You can buy this stuff there. All part of his business.
That big white building?
That's the garage, all of these
Family
cars.
Medical Center.
They used to have used cars here.
There's a doctor.
Huh? Yeah. And Esther Shumper lived here. What's in there now? Oh, her daughter lives there, Rose Bailey. And Billy Kovaleski was married to
Is it
Eva.
Rocky's brother?
Yeah, and he was married to, and then, what was her name? What was, Rhoda would remember, I forget. And they lived right here in this little house here.
This one? This yellow one?
I believe it was this one. This is an older house. This has been built.
You live there,
Chili
Billy?
Hill.
And you know who else lived there? Les Brown's father. You know Les Brown
Brown
and
and
his
his
band
band
of
of
renown?
Was he related to Peanut?
No. Peanut. And now this is where we went swimming. We'd walk all the way up to here, and the swimming pool was, you'd go down a hill. This is the new pool. This is a new swimming pool, but you go through those woods and you go down a hill and down in there. I don't know what's down there now,
I
but
remember walking backwards.
yeah, we did. We went down there one. If you couldn't swim.
You couldn't swim, Sarge?
So what was
Couldn't
this?
swim when I started to go there. I learned to swim, and this kid, her mother sent her with somebody, and she was about 15 years old, and she was
15.
yeah, somewhere around there, and her name was Marion Burns, and their name was Kimmel, the little girl that died, and
How old was the little girl that died?
oh, probably 6 or 7, and.
Docky found her dead.
Well, not him alone. The girl went to go home and she couldn't find the kid. So she couldn't find her, so she figured she went home. Well, she didn't go home. She
And no one noticed.
so then she went home and the kid wasn't at home, so they looked all over the neighborhood for her. And then the father came up and there were a bunch of boys there and he said, "Will you help me look? I think maybe my little girl's in the pool." And then they all took
One of
hands.
the little boys was Docky.
Well, he wasn't a little boy then, too. Then he was about 15 or so, you know. And they went through one time and coming back, they found Harry foot touched the body, and she was there. And this is where Baker Brown's
I can't
place
believe no
was.
one would have noticed her around.
Well, the water was probably dark. It wasn't clear, was it?
No, it was very muddy, gray.
Seems like you
So this is where downtown Lester Brown lived?
No, I showed you that was down there.
down on the other side. This is Grand Avenue.
Right there is
Where?
where he lived, right there.
Who?
Your
Oh.
Docky, that's his
Docky?
house.
Which
Yeah,
one?
that
One,
one
one,
there
two,
with the
three?
red on it.
Right next to the barber shop.
Yeah. I'm gonna turn around.
Docky grew up in that house?
That's where he grew up, yeah.
From how old? He wasn't there when you
Well, he was born in Minersville, and then they moved to Tower City. I can't see Art because of you. And then they moved back. They moved to Tower City, then they moved back, and then they came back to Tower City, and this is where they lived when I. And he fixed it up nice.
This is Aunt Florence's old house?
Yeah, get out. We'll take him out of the car.
Yeah, take it out of
Okay.
the car.
Here, Sarge, pull up so we can take a good picture.
Didn't take turns.
Wait,
And-
what happened again?
Well, he
whose
lived
house
there.
was
He was a fat kid, as far as I was concerned.
Julie Gamper's fat
No,
kid's house.
Billy Gamper.
Billy Gamper's
And we used
fat
to play.
kid.
And we used to play baseball over here.
Yeah?
And
How'd you kill him?
It was my turn, and he went to take the bat.
Just like
so
a
I
fat
took a
kid.
bat and I hit him on the back when he bent over, and he flopped down just like that. I thought he was dead. I really thought I killed him. And one time, Miriam and Wendell parked their car at the top of the driveway when they brought Patty up and took Patty in the house, and when they came out,
No more
their
car.
car, it was across the street into this porch.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's the porch. No car now.
Now,
Ready? Go ahead.
and that was Karen Buggy's house back there, see? That's where Patty used to play with Karen Buggy, who was a good friend in Tower City.
Wait.
Kaler.
So Uncle Ivan got this idea from who?
A
For this
man by
house?
the name of Kaler, who lived up in, I forget where somewhere in northern Pennsylvania. And then he built a house just like it.
Did he have an architect come and everything?
No, he had the plans. All I remember is, I can remember them.
I always remember driving to this little driveway because this road was so small.
Yeah.
What and these trees were always overgrown when his
This
car.
was nothing.
No, coming from the other direction. Yeah.
And
in.
this garage is part of it. This garage has a second floor. I remember when Butch Wachter built this house, and he said the roof isn't high enough, you have to make it higher. Then he built it higher.
Of the garage.
Yeah.
That's where Mom
Okay.
was. Yeah.
All right, and that's Karen Buggy's house right
That's
there.
Karen Buggy's house. And remember Patty's little lamb house?
Yeah.
Where's
That was right here, which used to be right
Oh, they
here.
built it.
Right there is
They
the
didn't
spot,
have a
that
fence.
patch.
Yeah. They didn't have
No,
a
I remember
fence,
this
no.
backyard.
Oh, you got an air
I
conditioner
love that
too.
tree. Where's that tree where we used to have the little helicopter things? I think.
Oh, the maple tree it was. It was a maple tree, but that's what it was. Actually. Might have-
Yeah, I remember. I remember most of the rooms in there. Me
Truthfully,
too. I remember it really clearly.
you know, he didn't own this. This lot does not belong to him. I know it was kind of a sore point between. I don't know how far you can go up the
This
road.
is the team road?
This is what they call the team road.
Didn't Karen Buggy build a house next to
No
her
outlet.
mother?
No, you can't go. Then it would go up here, and West Aspen Road. No, that takes you. If you go up this road, it takes you all the way up to the mines. The mines, they called it the team road because the team of horses would go up, and we used to sleigh ride up here. One night, ride a night. You would go up, and you would go as far up. There was a railroad track up there. When you hit the railroad track, you went out and boom, like that. And it would take you. You would go all the way up this and take you up to the mines, and that's where the teams of horses used to go up. That's why they called it the team road. Then when they had trucks, the trucks would go up here. It's just.
So then did they call it the truck road?
They slid down.
Yeah, then they called it the truck road. I don't know what they called it then. They still call it the team road, as far as I know.
They don't do any more mining here, do they?
No. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
there
they do.
is. There's a tunnel. The Porter Tower Tunnel is up.
Sarge, what year was Uncle Ivan, was that house built?
About between 25 and 30. Around, I think maybe around 28.
I used to love playing with him.
That's his store there, Tower Sales. They used
That's
to.
where Uncle Ozzy goes.
Yeah, that's their store.
Which store?
Tower
Sale.
Sales.
What is it called?
Sold wholesale candy, confection, and cigars, cigarettes, tobacco, and Chevrolet automobiles.
Oh, right.
And then,
So he was a Chevy dealer?
yeah, and then in that side is where they have the repair.
I think your brakes are squeaking.
No, Tower Sales now is they sell oil. They don't sell cars anymore.
What was it called when Uncle Ozzy was there?
What?
What was it called when he was there?
J.B. Watkins and brother.
Hey.
Who that is, I don't know.
Oh.
There.
This is Harry's first house that he
Yeah.
lived in?
Yeah.
It's for sale. We could buy it. What's
And that's the funeral director. And I guess when I die, they'll take me there. And, no, I'll go right to the cemetery.
you want to go right to the cemetery?
Right to the cemetery.
But up here.
Yeah. This is the bank where Uncle Art worked. Look at the stained glass in there.
Oh, look at that.
And this is the bank right here?
Yeah.
Free business checking.
Yep.
That's nice.
Holy with hell.
So
Now
this
this is owned by Tower Sales. They own this.
You know how to afford that anymore.
No.
a lovely mini mart.
Anymore.
So you want to be buried up here, Sarge?
What?
You want to be buried up here?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be buried up here.
Do you have a plot already kicked out?
Yeah. This is where the high school used to be. Those were the steps up to the high school. The high school's gone.
High school?
Here's where the elementary school was. The elementary school's gone.
Where were they?
You can buy a brick if you want.
Hey, it's Klinger's Corner.
Yeah. And that's where my grandmother used to. There was a church there, and
Grandma Klinger?
Grandma Lewis.
Grandma Lewis.
And then I remember when I was carrying Patty, that church burned down. I remember when I was walking down to see this fire, the bell fell out of the steeple. And when it fell, great big whoosh of flames went up. Oh, we didn't. There's the back of that house. Look, that's what they were saying. Don't take a picture of that. But they said, did you see? Doris said, did you see?
Said we're gonna make you lie down and see if you fit.
See if I fit. They tell me there's enough space here for 10.
Right, I think I'll go with you.
All right, there's plenty of space.
Oh.
This is where Sarge's mom was originally
I
buried,
don't think there's room.
in this mausoleum back here.
But there's not.
But later on they had her moved out. So as you can see, it's quite deteriorated. The guy who built it and sold them left with the money, and nobody really keeps it up now.
Yeah. Well, there's room, but I can't have a stone.
She doesn't want a flat one. She wants one that's up like this. She doesn't want a big one, just one that's sticking up.
I don't know if they allow that anymore.
I don't know what's flowers.
Where are we gonna put you? All right, right over here. Yeah, put them right along. Yeah, but there's enough here. They say 10 hours you get 10 people.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Louise. This is their daughter, Louise.
Turn around, Sarge. Sarge!
I am not gonna leave that thing on to have my picture taken.
Right now, I have to sneak around to the front.
There's Merle. Merle is not dead, and you can tell how old she is.
Merle is not dead.
Merle was born in
93.
1904, so
She's
she's
not- 93.
born from 7 or she's 93.
Holy cow.
Right? Hey, Rhoda.
4 years, 6 months,
You know
3
how old
days.
Merle is?
Lewis.
Who was Mary Jane?
Mary Jane was Aunt Florence's sister, and they both had diphtheria at the same time. And Aunt Florence got better, but Mary Jane died. And that's her grave.
She was only 6 years
Oh, I
old.
forgot to look at what was the date on Aunt Florence's.
1979. Oh,
19
born?
what?
Born? I think it was 1894, right?
Yeah. Aunt Amanda, and that's their mother and father. That's it. Yeah, he was aged 87,
Wow.
and she was 7. Mariah,
Wow, they lived pretty long.
that was their mother, was
Maria.
73.
1916. See, they died. Those were the ones who died the same night.
Oh,
Yeah. Which one?
Robert Robertson and William Klinger.
Right, exactly. They died the same.
They had a joint.
Funeral. They had to bury them together.
Huh.
And this is George Cantner, who was married to
Wow,
Lydia, who was also Grandma's sister. Lydia Cantner. That was Frieda Cantner's mother and father.
they died young.
This is
More
Clark Cantner. That's their son.
Did he live? Did he ever live?
No.
Oh,
And May Jenkins and
This guy was part of the dental association.
yeah. And here's where the connection died overseas. But they called him Jesse. His first name.
So young.
Well, yeah.
He was 4.
He had just gone. He died in England.
Oh,
Yeah.
be done.
that's when we were just
Rhoda,
reading
you
those,
know, they have that letter. I'll show you when we get back there, down in the basement. And they referred to him as Jesse. His first name was Jesse. I didn't.
I sort of remember Gilbert, but I
Yeah.
remember Jesse.
And here's.
That was the one whose wife got the letter.
And this is.
So gosh, so
Patty
they
and-
was married long.
They always called him Chip. I don't know why.
Yeah, Uncle Chip.
Because he had little
was older
things here. And the kids used to call him Chippies. They were like sideburns.
So,
Yeah, the Cantners. And
Harry and
don't quit taking pictures of this.
Sarge doesn't have wet hair because of you.
All right, Sarge, tell us about when your dad got the rosewood in his eye.
Got the what?
The rose bush in his eye.
Oh, I remember his mom pulling the thing right out of his eye, and she said it was way in there. Yeah.
Hey, good thing he was anesthetized a little bit.
He wasn't. Never went to see the doctor. Never.
He never went to the doctor.
Well, it was doctors.
That's the reason they lasted so long.
Yep.
They said
They didn't get them all those.
Grandpa Adams was sitting in a rocking chair
Yeah.
on the front porch.
Stop.
And
What year was Mary born and died?
Mary?
She was
1869.
1869, 1955. How old did that
I
make
think
her?
she was 87. It's 5 from 9. Let's see. 15 take away 9 would be 7. Yeah, I guess 87.
What was Grandpa Adams doing on his front porch?
We didn't know him. I didn't know him. Audrey probably did.
I didn't know. All I know is he had a mustache.
What did he do on his front porch?
Oh, he was rocking, and he was found dead there, and it was a mark on his head. They don't know if he fell after or somebody hit him because his paycheck was in his pocket and it was missing.
And it was missing.
So they think there was foul play.
This looks like a job for Inspector Bob.
Yeah.
This is Aunt Annie.
Mother was that
Yes, that's my mother's sister,
Yeah.
Annie Troutman.
Murder trial or something. Was that your mother was on that jury for
Oh, yes.
murder trial?
Yes, she was.
Mom?
Yeah. Somebody was murdered in Gene Shumper's house. You know where Gene Gibson lives now?
When?
Back, way back before me.
Before
back
me?
Yeah, maybe. I think so. Yeah, because she was just going with Dad. She was
Oh.
walking up and down the street waiting for him to come out of one of the bars.
Oh, she was crazy, really.
And, or he was supposed to meet her anyhow.
Yeah. Well, let's get in out of the rain.
Yeah.
Hear the story. Yeah, I want to hear this story. Yeah.
And what happened? Go ahead.
And what happened? And he was in the country, and I think he was stabbed to death. And he said something about, did you see this man? You know, she was called to this jury trial. She was being questioned, you know. Her mother said, just tell the truth. Don't tell anymore. don't answer them, don't elaborate. She just
That was
she was telling them that they switched pastors. I said, at 6:45, well, the clock there said 6:45, and I was waiting for so-and-so. And then he said, he asked her a couple more things. Well, I thought you said it was, she said, why didn't you say then? She said, well, you didn't ask. You didn't ask, whatever it was, something about this time, every time you can ask. My mother, I don't think she liked that.
She didn't want him to laugh.
That's right, she wanted to laugh at it.
Oh, God.
Having fun?
My feet are cold.
Okay, this is where Sarge's mother was born, Grandma Lewis. And obviously needs a little exterior decoration.
Yeah, an exterior decoration.
However, as you can see,
And in the car.
they have some classy neighbors. Happy birthday, Jesus.
Up there.
Sarge, which side of this house?
What?
Was it?
When Raymond Coveleski saved John Lewis.
Yeah, remember that? We were over swimming at
I
the
don't
white,
remember.
at the white, okay, no, you probably weren't
I
there.
wasn't
At
there,
the White Bridge, and Delphine and John and I were trying, see, there's a sharp stream coming through there. And we were wanting to see who could go
It was
out
right
far.
there near where Dingers was. Remember
where
I
they
said,
turned
we
that
said
thing.
about Dingering a baloney? It was right around there. There
But
was
it
a,
used to be white, now
Yeah.
you have to look for it. So anyhow, there was a sharp stream coming, and we'd go out, you know, and then we'd see how far we could go out before we would come back in. And here our John went out, and here he couldn't come back in, the stream pushed him, and he was, help, help. And my mother was up there, it was built higher, like she was up
it was
looking
like a
down.
bank.
Yeah, where now it's more flat. Well, anyhow, she was like, John, and she started to scream, and he was, help, help. And Raymond was over here on this side of the stream, and he jumped in and pulled him out and took him to the other side, you know, over to this side.
I remember you told me that once before.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And now that's the great niece of John Lewis and Raymond Coveleski.
Oh, that's right.
How about the Docky and Sarge story?
Oh, tell the story about Docky carrying the saxophone.
I don't know that.
I never heard that one before.
We knew Gary started with interested or knew each other in the band. Did he play in the band too?
No, you just walked home with me.
Oh, yeah. And so he liked her, so he would come down and carry her saxophone. But then they had an argument, and she thought, I'm not letting him carry my saxophone. That was typical. So she would go out early and probably go down the alley so he could see her carry her own saxophone. She would let Harry carry it. Harry carry it.
And what did you say all the Lewises were? They were so...
No, me.
Yeah, what did you say?
Next, they're really,
What was the word?
I'm trying to think. What was it?
what I said.
It was a good one.
Can't think.
Well, they were
No.
borderline.
Yeah, they were
They were
contrary.
borderline.
Contrary, that was it.
Those
Contrary.
contrary voices.
We still are.
Rhoda would be like that, you know. But I couldn't be around people like that. When we get mad.
So you just married one.
No, when we would have a, you know, disagreement and stuff. I'd get mad and I'd yell, and then it was done.
This is where
As far as
that
I think it was
information
done.
came from.
Yeah.
But when Rhoda would get
Yeah.
mad, she'd have a tendency to not want to
Did
talk.
you?
Yeah.
But I just kept talking. She'd
Yeah.
get too
That's
mad.
why we had
Acknowledge
acknowledged
I do
it.
it.
My mom party was
Like neighbors not talking.
Oh, that
Mom
was
and
candy.
then, but that was called.
Yeah, I know.
Another makes me, I know, like, some of
This is the house we stayed in. Used to be owned by Merle Neck, teacher, spinster, Iron Maiden. Taping you. This is Karen Wood. Weenie.
That's all they had to scare. I guess if you want to be superior to somebody.
This wasn't here.
What was it?
Oh, it's nothing.
Where'd they used to milk the cows?
In here, this big.
They had a thing where they put those.
Yeah, well, later on, not when I was a kid, but later on they did. But,
They used to,
but geez, they really, this was like the center, and then the cows were on this side, and the cows were over there, and back there, and they'd have the calves back at that end. But then he had more cows. He built that afterward. He built that for additional. But these are really, this is the hayloft. We'd go up there.
Yeah, the hayloft would be like up over the cows. They climb those ladders and go up
Yeah,
there.
go up to the hayloft. And then they'd have the bales of hay up there, and we'd stack them up and we'd go like passages through the haystack. And then Johnny would get mad because the boards weren't close together and all the straw would fall down on the cows, all the dirt and, that kind of, you used to get us hell for that. They took them out there was a door here, and then the men would stand along the back of there with pitchforks, to keep them down this way. Then they'd bring them down here where they did the breeding, in this part of the barn.
This was the bull's house.
That was the bull house. Now they do it all by mail. They have those artificial insemination.
But they had chickens.
How many winners? Oh, he is a lot of them.
The smell just takes me back to my childhood.
Karen found a friend.
He likes my coat.
Karen's friend.
Look at the dog. They want the dog. You're like Star. Star the cowboy. It's drooling. Man, that was teeny. You missed a good shot over there.
Nope.
Yeah, baby.
Just missed it. Oh, little baby cow.
come here, baby. This one had its horns chopped off.
Oh my.
Come here.
Good one, Licky.
Cow.
What do you mean?
Tell them what it is, Pam.
That's the house that we stayed in last night, and that was Merle Connect's house. And I guess she's still alive somewhere.
93.
Born in 1904, it said on her tombstone.
Sarge's car. Very nice.
They call the pines. Here, I'll show you. Yeah, the trees are in the way here. What?
Very huge eyes.
Yeah.
A little lot of these better than the big one.
Here's Dom feeding the cow with his fingers. That,
Look at the saliva.
yum, yum. It's like a bottle. Ew, gross.
Look at this.
Dom's little udder finger.
Oh, he kissed the cow.
He wants more, little cow. Aww.
I'm not providing you with a finger, sorry.
Karen, however, does not want to feed the cow with her finger. Okay.
What is that?
That's Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, yeah. But who is that? That couple, Grant Wood.
Grant Wood.
The couple at the one he is the pitchfork.
Yep, the rancher and the cow.
So, Mom, tell the story about the burning cross.
Oh, well, that was over there, and on what we used to call the pine. There were pine trees there, and we'd hike. We'd go down and across. There was a covered bridge going over to that place, and we'd go over there and up towards the dump. And my mother would wave a diaper out of the back porch, so she'd see us and we'd wave. We'd have a sandwich or something over there. And then when the Ku Klux Klan were in town, they would burn a cross over there, and used to scare the heck out of me. They would, you could see all these guys in white sheets standing around this burning cross. It was a very active group at one time. I would say that was about 1920s.
Who did they hate?
20s. What?
Who did they hate? Who were they trying to scare?
Well, there was strong feelings between the Protestants and the Catholics. We had no blacks, so they had to pick on someone. They had to pick on somebody to hate. That's right.
Oh, he's looking around. I made him very upset.
Now, John, they have the story of the Ku Klux Klan.
Tell us how you knew who it was under the sheets.
What?
Here, Audrey, and it was moved sometime before
Wouldn't you
that.
love if they could come back and
Yeah.
see what's going on? Same way with your dad.
Yeah.
I was saying, I remember when we were kids, we would be out playing. Johnny was always working. He always had jobs to do.
Yeah.
This is going to be great.
When are you going to open it?
Yeah.
Hopefully sometime this summer.
Yeah. Now I know where to go for plants when I come over.
Yeah.
When I come up, I'd always have to carry them up with me.
Those plants are great. Yeah, they're
And they had lots of space. When you go down the Schuylkill Expressway, you know that?
Here he is, a cow dog.
Yeah, intimidating.
Flower show or something there. We were going to try that.
Are you sure that's not a little pig?
Very small. He's much smaller than ours. Yeah.
I'm serious. Because of course.
Karen has tamed the wild beast.
I see they run bus routes down there to a present.
Probably part pig.
But I'm about, no, I think that they're living there by myself. I think of my mother and my Aunt Florence, they lived alone for
A little nervous.
Little dog.
There's my own.
There's my own, where you could get a pizza. Was that when they first had the pizza in Tower City? It was a big deal.
Yeah,
But you had to call ahead and tell them you wanted a pizza. You
It's
didn't
only
just walk
open-
in and get it.
It's only open Wednesday and Friday nights.
Yeah, they're not open.
this was the room the pool table was in, and the moose had, and the deer had, and all the stuff, everything. I don't know if you can see it. Oh look, there's a pheasant. You can't see it. You can't get a picture. It's too dark. Do you see the pheasant there on the table? I imagine if I'd call that Peanut Brown guy, he'd let us go in, but I don't.
So Peanut Brown's an okay guy?
I don't really know him at all. That's the problem. But
So this across the street, the Whirlpool, that used to be the butcher
that
shop?
used to be Gress's Butcher Shop.
What happened there?
Well, he had a, what? There's a peasant in there. He had a son, Jay Gress, and he fancied himself a boxer. And one day, my dad and some guys were in the bar room and talking about him and being a boxer. And my dad, I guess, was feeling pretty good. He said, oh, hell, I could knock him out. And then they kind of got into an argument. So they said, all right, come on, we'll go on up. And they went up, and he had a boxing ring in a little shed in the back of the store. And my dad went in and got in the ring with him. And I don't know if they sparred very much, but anyway, he knocked him out. And so then after it was over, then he said, I knew I had a, I can't say that.
You can say it, go ahead.
Yeah. I knew I had to get the son of a bitch earlier, he said, because I don't have any wind.
So now your dad was boxing champion of Tower City?
No, I don't think there were any American champions. He just happened to be lucky, I think.
Out the country mile.
I remember when I was a kid, I would walk from Aunt Florence's house up this alley, and one time Grandma Kowaleski was in the garage and she was sweeping it out, and I guess she'd seen a snake once before and she was nervous. And I came up and I scared her and she jumped so high. And then I remember when Uncle Ivan would rent the ponies for us, we would ride up here too. This was a destination.
Ah, one of the stops
on the pony ride.
Yeah.
All right. Swings. We made our own fun.
Well, no one thinks we plan on it anyway.
This is where they have the old home thing?
The old what?
Is
this was Neidlinger's farm. Yeah, old home week is along there. I don't know how they set it up.
Was
there
like?
was a big, I just saw blue jay.
Go into the swimming hole.
Down to the old swimming pool.
Better walk fast now.
It's not there anymore.
Did someone make the swimming pool hole?
There were two walls. One wall this way and one wall this way. And there was like a sluice that you could put boards down to keep the water in. And when they'd empty the pool, they'd pull the boards up. And up there, yeah, this is it. And up there, there's a stream that ran down into the pool. It was spring water. It was very cold. And your lips would get blue from being in the water.
Now they get to sell that water as bottled water.
Now they sell Rissa-Hicken water.
When we were driving down there last night, I saw like a little white building with the lights on. It said spring water. It looked like you could just walk in and fill your jug or something.
Where?
Driving down to
Art. I mean, the women.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's see the wall? There's the one wall.
Oh yeah.
And then the, yeah, this is how we were down.
Did they used to dam it off? They dammed it off so it would fill up?
What?
They dammed it off so it would fill up?
Yeah. I can't believe that was.
I don't see a little creek in the middle.
See the water running?
Look at that! It's so little. It's so funny.
Karen, help your grandma.
So that whole sort of square area was the pool?
Yeah, this was there and here. That was the pool. And then when remember they had the CCC, then they came.
Yeah, the conservation corps.
Yeah, that the Roosevelt set up. Then they came. Huh?
It was part of it.
Yeah, but well, it was that's right. It probably was the WPA. And that's, then they did some work, did some stone work, but it just seems to me the wall was farther away. Of course, everything.
It's a big pool.
So tell us.
It was very big. It was very muddy. There was no bottom.
I can see how it takes a ground. It's huge.
You see, there's where the diving board was. That was the deepest down. And there's where they would. I don't know if it's down there. Let's go down there. That kid, they found her down here in this area. But you see, they have rocks there now. And when we were kids, there was no wall along there. You just walked out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was no, the WPA put that there. Are they stones? Doesn't look like concrete, does it?
No.
Where's the diving board?
There. This is the deep end.
What was the diving
They would go up to the mines and get a plank. That was the diving board. The plank
Sarge
from the
did all the
mine.
fancy dives.
Huh?
That when you started doing the fancy dives?
There was no spring in that thing. You just, yeah, that's where you try it. I wonder why you're taking a picture of a brown jug.
We won't wonder.
Huh?
Tell us about
Well,
what happened.
Steiny Riskus lived across the street in that house, and they used to tease him in the shifting shanty. The shifting shanty was where the miners changed their clothes. So there was one fellow by the name of Steiny Russelavage, and he was the chief instigator of all this teasing him. And one day he put burrs in his underwear. And Steiny Riskus got mad, and he sat on the porch there, and he knew that Steiny Russelavage always stopped in this place to have a beer before he went home. So he went in and had a beer, and when he came out, Steiny Riskus shot him, killed him. So he went to jail for about 3 years. And
Then
that
he
was
got
it.
out?
And then he got out.
Well, putting burrs in somebody's underwear.
That was bad.
Extenuating circumstances.
Well,
So what were some of the other bars?
well, nothing. I don't know bars up here. My dad never came up to this end of the town.
How about down in Tower City?
Down in Tower City, we had Myones, we had the fire company, we had Riskuses. There was another Riskus, not this Steiny Riskus, another Riskus. They had Piano's bar. There was Russellavage's bar. There was Jack Holden had a bar. Shaddy Shadle had a bar. Just a lot of bars in Tower City.